Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed, and today I'm going to be showing you how I hang some ribs out of my drum smoker. Now I've got 3 racks of these beautiful Compart Duroc St. Louis cut ribs, and these ribs are known for their marbling. They're known for their red color. They're the best meat on the planet. Today we're going to show you how we cook them. Let's get started. So I took these Compart ribs out of their cryovac, and I made sure I wanted to get all the membrane off the back side. I mean, everybody knows how to pull that membrane. It's easy to do. Then I just squared them up a little bit. There's not a whole lot of trimming. You'll notice we've still got some fat on these ribs. That fat is flavor. I want to see that marbling on my ribs. I'm not going to trim it off. Now for seasoning today, I'm using my Killer Hog combo. It's my original rub, and then a little bit of my hot rub just for that pop of heat. We're going to put that on both sides. If you're cooking along with me, hey, you got a favorite rub, go ahead and use it here. You don't have to, just use the exact same seasonings. That's what barbecue's all about, using stuff that you like. But I'm just going like a light to medium coat on the back side. No binders or anything. We're just going straight on the meat. Meat and smoke today. I'm gonna hit them with just a little bit of that pop of that hot rub. You don't have to go heavy. Now we're gonna flip them over. Get the same thing going on the top side. A shower of that Killer Hog love. Now I'm just going to top this meat side with a little bit of that Killer Hog's hot, just for some heat. So today we're going to be hanging these ribs instead of cooking them just the traditional way, straight on the rack. That's fine if you want to do that. The reason why I'm doing it, there's a lot of guys out there winning with this style of rib. Hey, and I got to see what it's all about, so we're going to hang these today. What I've got is just some stainless meat hooks. These came with my drum with this hanging kit. And what you want to do is you want to find the big end of your ribs, and they're cut to about 9-10 bones on these slabs. I just took the ends off when I squared them up, and we're going right on the big end bone, right dead center, right through the meat. And the ideal is that rib's going to hang just like that. We're not hanging them the entire cook, but we'll get into the cooking process in here a little bit. So we're firing up our drum cooker today. I've got my charcoal basket about 3/4 of the way full of good lump charcoal. We're going to be using some wax cubes to get the fire started in this. And what I'll do is I'll just make a little depression in the center, drop me a couple of these wax cubes in there, put the firebox back down inside my drum, and use just a little aim of flame to light each cube. Now you want to give it about 20 minutes to let that fire come up, let it get to setting a good bed of coals. After 20 minutes, you can go ahead, get the lid on, open your vents 100%, and then let the temp start building up in the cooker. Once it starts coming up, about the 200, 250 range, that's when you want to start checking the vents back. On this drum that I'm running today, my Gateway drum, I run it just a little cracked on each intake and then fully open on the exhaust. That's going to give me that 300 degrees cooking temperature. Now, when I'm up to temp, that's when I want to drop my wood in. Today I'm cooking with a big chunk of cherry and a couple chunks of pecan. It's going to be great on these ribs we're doing. We're going to drop that wood right on those hot coals, spread them out a little bit so they'll burn throughout the cook. Then we're going to put our lid back on, let our cooker stabilize, let it come on up to that 275, 300 range. Then we're going to be ready to hang some ribs. All right, our drum smoker is up to temperature right where we want it. It's just a hair over 300. That's okay. I'm going to check it right back down once we get our ring in. So what we're doing is we're going to take our lid off. Then I've got my hanging ring. And what it is, it's got 2 bars going across the ring, and it just sets right on the studs. We're gonna get it right in the grill, get the lid back on real quick. We've got some good smoke going from that pecan and cherry. Give it just a minute. Stabilize back from opening it up. Make sure our vents are just slightly cracked, open on top. We're gonna go inside, get the ribs, get our meat to hanging. All right, we're ready to put our ribs here on the drum, get them hanging on the rack. And you just want to spread them out a little bit. You don't want them touching. What we're going to do, 2 on one side, 1 on the other. And you see you have plenty of room to do more racks. You could probably do 6, 7, 8 racks at a time, easy. You want to get the lid back on pretty quick, so we don't want to lose our temp. We want it to stay stabilized. Okay, the ribs have been cooking now for 2 hours in the smoke. Rotated them every 20 minutes. You just want to keep your temp steady right in that 275 to 300 range, and put some heavier gloves on when you're rotating, because the little hanger does get hot. We're going to get them off now. Here we go. That's what I want you to see. Starting to get a little pullback. Got a nice even color all the way down that rib, both sides. That's what hanging them's doing for you. Okay, we're back inside. I went ahead and pulled the hooks out of these ribs. Now we're gonna wrap them. And what I'm gonna do first, all I'm doing, I'm keeping it real simple today. I've warmed up just a little bit of my barbecue sauce, thinned with just a touch of apple juice. You wanna keep it warm. We're just gonna paint just a little bit on. We're not going real heavy. I'm just giving it just a light sauce in this wrap. Then we're also gonna add just a little bit of extra apple juice along the side. We're gonna do both sides. So we're gonna flip them over. Got great color on these ribs. Really impressed with the hanging technique. Now we're gonna fold our full up. Get some apple juice. We're not pouring over the rib. We're just gonna pour along beside it. You don't need much, just a couple tablespoons. And we're gonna close them up. Crimp that end real well. Now we're ready to go right back out there on the pit. We're gonna hold that temp steady right in that 275 to 300 degree range. We're gonna need about another hour to get these ribs tender. We'll be ready to glaze them up. The best part, we get to eat them. Let's get them back on. So now before we put the ribs on, we've got to take our hanging rack off. So just take the lid off, get some heavy gloves, remove that hanging ring, put your regular 22-inch rack back on. Now we can go ahead and get our ribs on there. So temperature should still be steady. We're just gonna put them meat side down, right on the rack. We're gonna need 45 minutes to an hour. Not much longer, we'll be eating ribs. Okay, the ribs have been wrapped for 1 hour. That's all it takes in this wrap process. We're gonna get them off the grill, take them inside, and check them out. When you pick them up, they're flexing real easy. That's how you can tell they've had enough time in that wrap. They're done. Just about picking up the end of that one. I can feel it through the full. Now we're gonna unwrap these ribs, see how they're looking. Oh man, I wish y'all could smell these. If there's a lot of juice in there, you drain it off. These are okay. I'm gonna flip them over here. We're gonna kind of fold this full down and into a boat shape, what I call a boat. Just gives us something to transport it back out to the grill, because we need just a few more minutes to glaze the top of these ribs. There's our boat. Let's get a little sauce on here. Still got the warm sauce from earlier. Doesn't take much. We just want to glaze the tops just a little bit. And these ribs look amazing hung on that drum. I'm gonna knock the rest of these out here in the boats. Get them back outside and get them glazing up. These ribs are ready to go right back out on the pit. What we're gonna do is we're gonna carry them outside. We only need 5 to 10 minutes tops to set this. We got our heat still 275 to 300, so it's pretty hot. You don't want to leave them on too long. That's what'll get them dark. It's okay if a little smoke's rolling, but don't leave them on there too long, because a little smoke will suck into that sauce and you don't want to get them bitter. So we're getting our ribs right back on the drum. We want to get the lid back on. Set this glaze for just a few minutes. It's not going to take long, 5, 10 minutes tops. Take them back inside and we're going to cut them. We're back inside with the ribs. I just glazed them for about 5 minutes out there on the drum, finished them off, brought them inside, got them on the board, and just let them kind of hang out a few minutes before we cut them. You don't really have to rest them too long. Moment of truth time. Let's slice into a rack of these. How I like to do them, just turn them over here. Get you a good sharp knife where you can see the bones. Ooh, it's slicing good. Let's get one of these out and see what we got. Look at that smoke ring. You can see the juice and the squeeze in that compart rib. And the best part, melt in your mouth like butter. That's how you want a rib to eat right there. 2 bites, clean bone. I'm gonna take the rest right off. I'm telling you, look how clean that bone is. You can't beat that. That's a perfectly cooked rib. Smoky flavor comes through. I know I got sauce on me. That's okay. We're eating barbecue. But you get that pecan, you get that cherry. Got a good even cook all the way down the slab of ribs from hanging them. Now I just want you to look when I squeeze these ribs. Look at all that moisture left in there. That's a moist and juicy rib. A lot of that comes from that breed of Duroc hog. But hey, you can cook ribs just like this at home. Simple to do. You don't have to hang them. You can cook them on a rack if you want to. Follow that same process. Keep them in the smoke for a couple hours. Get them wrapped up. If you hold that temperature at 300 degrees, it's going to cook a little bit faster than usual, but you can cook hot and fast on ribs just like you can cook low and slow. Same kind of perfect end result. We got a juicy, flavorful, smoky rib. Hope you like it. Hey, thanks for checking us out here today at How to Barbecue Right. If you want to know when we're putting out these videos, just subscribe to that channel. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. We love all the interactions and the questions. We'll answer them all. Come back and see us.